This is Heather McBain of Fuji Apple Learning, presenting Presidential Powers. The United States federal government is made up of three branches of government: the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. The President of the United States is a member of the executive branch of government. What government powers does the President hold? The President has the power to sign or veto legislation, command the armed forces, ask the Cabinet for their written opinion, convene or adjourn Congress, grant reprieves and pardons, and receive ambassadors. Through the system of checks and balances, the powers of the President are actually very limited by both the legislative and judicial branches. That means that there are a lot of things that the President cannot do, such as making laws and declaring war, deciding how federal money is spent, and interpreting laws. The President also cannot select cabinet members or Supreme Court justices without Senate approval. And these restrictions have been in place since the Constitution and Bill of Rights were put into place on December 7, 1787. Why were so many restrictions placed on the powers of the President? The framers, or founding fathers of the country, didn't want a monarchy like they had been under before. They feared a government with too much power or placing anyone at the head of the government. In fact, it is why they had adopted the Articles of Confederation as a form of government prior to the Constitution and Federal Republic. When the Constitution and Bill of Rights were created, the framers made sure that the position of president would have very little power and gave the majority of the power to the legislative and judicial branches. If the president can't make laws, who does? The legislative branch of government, which includes Congress, Senate, and House of Representatives, write the laws, and once they are approved by the majority in the legislative branch, the laws are sent to the president to be signed into effect or vetoed. If a law is vetoed, that doesn't mean that it won't still become a law. The legislative branch can still vote it into effect with a 2/3 vote for it. What this means is that when you see a picture of the president signing a law or bill into effect, that law was created by the legislative branch. So those in Congress, Senate, and House of Representatives wrote and agreed with the law. In fact, most of the power within the United States government resides with the legislative branch. This was done so that only those who were voted into the government by the people of the country could create laws, taxes, and other requirements. Thank you for watching Presidential Powers with Fuji Apple Learning.